Remakes are something that is widely known and is a part of our community today. It expands from movies to video games and even animes. Take classic anime series for example, series you watched growing up. Fullmetal Alchemist, Shaman King, Fruits Basket. These are all animes that were big at the time of its release, but exploded in popularity due to its remake. Hell, you Fullmetal fans will have an aneurysm if your anime is knocked off of first place. Wait. Interesting. Adaptating older forms of media to fit the current standards of today is something we have the luxury of experiencing. Back then, let's just say times were a lot simpler.
He tried to kill you? Incredible. And then he died.
Animation wasn't the be-all end-all like it is today. Story, characters, the aesthetic and vibe a series gave you made up for what it was lacking. This takes us to samurais. Samurais are a staple in our society today. They're spread across a vast amounts of media. Ghost of Tsushima, Lupin III, Elden Rings to some extent all share that concept. Samurais are something we all as a kid thought were cool. And let's be honest, carrying a sword got to be one of the coolest things ever. Look at series like Kenshin. Wait, hold on. That's better. Samurai Champloo, Afro Samurai, and even One Piece. Each and every one of these series incorporates the essence of sword fighting and living by the sword. And that's no different when we talk about Dororo. Dororo was created by a man named Osamu Tezuka. He's by far the most influential person when it comes to the world of anime and mangas. If I had to make a comparison, I would say Tezuka was like the Stan Lee of manga and anime. He's been nicknamed the god of manga and the godfather of anime for various reasons. The impact his career left on Japanese culture far exceeds anything we could imagine. It's said he's created more than 700 manga titles and over 60 animes in his lifetime. He's also the creator of Astro Boy, Blackjack, Kimba the White Lion, and Dororo. Dororo is an old series. Your grandparents' aunt's dog probably seen this when it aired. It's a series that's over 50 years old. On April 6, 1969, the first episode of the original Dororo aired. One look at any episode and you can tell the art style is reminiscent of its time. The voiceover sounds like people are speaking outside of a box. And not many people know this, but Dororo has also had a game adaptation.
Yeah, that's an old game, that's for sure.
Fast forwarding to 2019, MAPPA, with the help of Tezuka Productions, took on the job of adaptating and remaking Osamu Tezuka original series and made a readaptation of the 1969 series. Dororo follows the story of a prosthetic boy named Hyakimaru and a kid named Dororo. It's a dark fantasy adventurous tale with supernatural elements incorporated with it. The story takes place during the Sengoku period. I did some research and turns out this was an important period for Japan. It lasted from the middle of the 15th century to the start of the 17th century, and the period marked the first transition from medieval Japan to modern Japan. Hyakimaru is a limbless Ronin that due to some circumstances at birth, all of the limbs and important parts he's supposed to be born with is gone. His father, at the start of the story, makes a deal with 48 demons and attempt to rule the world. In exchange to grant his wish, each demon takes a body part from his newborn son. And fast forwarding into the first episode, the dad is happy knowing that his deal worked and he decides to kill the boy since he no longer has any use of him. Later on that day, this old lady decides to place a kid on a boat and have him drift for eternity when he's founded by this guy. During this time, he used to serve a lord and was a part of countless wars. He killed countless amounts of people and inflicted pain and suffering on many people. However, he didn't enjoy the pain and suffering he was inflicting on others. It comes to a point where in one instance, he even tries to commit suicide as a proof for his self-humanity and atonement. Now, he's a doctor who attempts to redeem himself of the sins he committed by offering treatments for free, hoping to erase some of the guilt that he has. This guy gives Hyakimaru prosthetic limbs, and allows him to have a second chance of life. In some ways, he is a father figure he never had. He teaches him how to use a sword, how to write, and how to live amongst other people. During this time in the story, it's shown whenever Hyakimaru kills and fights a demon, he gains one body part that was taken from him. You get where this series is going, right? This is a story about an empty shell fighting to get the things that was taken away from him from birth. I like the plot and the overall theme of revenge and found the story really enjoyable. Let's talk about the characters. In this series, there are a lot of characters that play a role in the main story. Each character within the show have depth and a story behind them. Tohomaru is Hyakimaru's younger brother and is the secondary antagonist. Unlike his brother, he strives to be perfect. He hates his brother due to the jealousy he feels from his mother, and he was brought up receiving rarely any attention or love from her. Iwamaru is a blind monk who, despite his disability, he still carries his own. The man literally carries a biwa on his back and holds a cane for a sword. There's also other characters like Mio, Hyogo, and Mutsu that play a minor role, but nonetheless are a part of the main story. Dororo, in contrast, is a kid doing anything she can to survive the world she's been placed at. She steals, bargains with locals, and has some pretty funny interactions with different characters. She follows Hyakimaru's journey and for the most part is Hyakimaru's partner. The two forge a unique bond that, despite their differences and age gap, they are very similar. Throughout their journey, they face many obstacles, ranging from powerful demons, saving people, and overcoming their own personal struggles. At the heart of the show, Dororo is known for its moody and dark tones, but there's also a lingering theme of revenge born from the very beginning. Out of all the characters, Hyakimaru has had the best character development, which makes sense since he is the main character. The longer the story progresses, we notice him slowly develop a sense of human traits. He learns feelings, gains sight for the first time, and learns the importance of life. At some point, we even see him laughing, which is something you would have never seen or thought of in the beginning of the show. The anime makes it clear that the world they live in isn't easy. There's carnage with gory content, and some of the things characters does is immoral. MAPPA did an amazing job at blending an old school feeling whilst keeping the quality to fit the modern standards of today. The original series art style was a lot more cartoony, and the show was lacking in color. Unlike the 1969 series, the 2019 remake brought life to the series. The art style of this anime is really solid. Unlike most other shows with weird filters or over-the-top colors, Dororo uses a mixture of a more dark and bland color palette. This isn't by any means bad. It fits the overall theme and aesthetic of the series perfectly. It's not too over the top, and in some instances, there are some breathtaking scenes. Visually, I think they did a good job. What they excel at, however, is that like any other dark fantasy story, Dororo excels at his fight scenes. Hyakimaru throughout the story is blind, so to make up for that, when it comes to combat, he sees the auras of people and monsters. Gray represents a normal human, white means a human with a pure soul, and red generally means a ghoul or a demon. Despite his inability to see, Hyakimaru gets stuff done. The fight versus his brother, this scene, and especially this fight, each and every one of his fights are all choreographed very nicely, and there's so much raw emotions and stakes within each fight. When it comes to Dororo, people actually die. Someone you might have seen or known 2 to 3 episodes ago could be dead before you know it. The monster designs are also very solid. A lot of them are a fusion between classic and modern designs, while taking ideas from folklore. There isn't much to say other than the fact that the fight scenes and character designs work really well with this series. I mean, MAPPA is the one that animated this, so it was already a given that the fight scenes were going to be good. Just look at their past works. The soundtrack for this anime isn't something all too unique. For the most part, it's quite normal. A lot of the instruments heard and used in their OST incorporates traditional Japanese instruments, like this track and this track. It fits the setting and time period of the show perfectly. I would say Dororo isn't a series that requires much brainpower to watch. The episodic nature and dark fantasy elements bring together a classic adventure. The show humor comes off naturally, the characters in the show are really well written, and the fight scenes are cool. The more you watch this anime, the more you feel attached to the duo of Dororo and Hyakimaru. If you by chance haven't seen the show already, give it a shot. Next week is going to be a video about this manga, so stay tuned. Spoiler, it's Ishiyama's favorite manga. Alright, bye! I forgot to mention, I heard the manga is a lot better. I have yet to read it myself, but it's something you should consider.